Greetings. You're listening to the official Flourish Media podcast with Flourish Media founders Vivian Olodun and Dr. Tracy Timberlake. Listen in for marketing training and development tips from two ladies called the leaders in luxury learning. Get the tea on building a scalable, investor-ready business from the world's most accessible women-focused business funding organization.
Hello, tribe. We are here in episode 10. This is the last episode of this series for you with Flourish Media Podcast. And we want to talk to you about your post-pitch follow-up. I am Vivian Olodun. I'm here with Dr. Tracy Timberlake, and we are really pumped up for you, the transformation that's going to happen for you at the Flourish Media Conference. But we want to make sure that you're having a positive experience afterwards.
Yes, because you have 5 minutes to pitch. That's what people don't recognize, is that you have 5 minutes to deliver your pitch on the stage. Then what happens is we send all of the pitchers and all of the investors to a room somewhere else to go continue the discussions. But that's not where the discussions end. Like, there's so much more that needs to take place after the conference. They're not going to, if you're coming in asking for millions of dollars for your business, they're not going to write you the check right then and there. Because there's due diligence. If you listen to a previous episode where we talked about due diligence, there's due diligence that needs to take place. So the initial conversation happens at the conference, but there's actually due diligence that takes place after.
Yes. So when an investor is looking to partner with you, they're going to do some research, but there's things that you need to remember to do. And one of them is to get their contact information.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Wait, because there have been people in the past who have left the conference and then have reached out to us saying, can you give us the information for the investor? And we say no, because we can't. Like, it's part of our agreement with the investors is that we're not just going to send them people, throughout the year. The whole purpose of having the conference is to get everybody in one place so that they can begin those conversations. So your due diligence is getting that phone number or email address.
Yes, please ask them for their direct contact information. And we talked about it in another one of these episodes here about the preventative versus the promotional questions, understanding if you're making a positive relationship with an investor. And that's one of the key things. If you ask them for their direct contact information and they don't give it to you, that means that they're not interested in your business. Go to the next one. We have so many other investors who are going to be present at the conference. And so this is a great opportunity for you to spread the wealth. That's happened before too, where a pitcher and the investor have really hit it off. They've been talking a lot and they've shared contact information. They've been able to stay connected, but then the investment didn't work out. Every single other investor was interested in that brand, but they didn't exchange information with anybody else but the one.
Yeah, don't put all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak, because there are several investors that are there. And, money's green and can come from anywhere. And you might feel a strong connection with one investor, but that doesn't mean that that's the only place that you can get investment funding. And also, you can get investment funding from multiple investors. Like, who's to say that you can't have multiple people investing in your business, not just the one? So making sure that you are exchanging contact information with every investor is just a good idea.
Yes. And so in addition to that, when you've exchanged your information with each one of the investors, also set up a time to follow up. Immediately after the conference, it's natural to have gaps in time where everyone's kind of talking to that person. I highly recommend that you send them an email immediately that same exact day, just to say, it was great to meet you. Let's follow up, and to set a time on the calendar within the next 3 weeks to do a follow-up meeting. And so during that follow-up meeting, that gives you time to have conversations with all of the other investors, but it also gives you time to be able to do any additional research and apply some of the feedback that you've gotten during the conference and immediately after so that you can improve your pitch.
And also just recognize that part of why there's such a long time period, right, between the conference and Vivian saying 3 weeks to have these conversations is because the investors are not, like I said, they're not going to offer you the money right away. As a matter of fact, they may not give you any indication that they plan to offer you the money right away. Like they're going to hold all of their cards pretty close to their chest, because it would be irresponsible of them to just outright say, yes, and I plan to give you all of this money without doing their due diligence. So that's why, hey, build relationships. It's really about relationships, because a lot of the time they're not just investing in the business, they're investing in you. And so you want to give them ample time to get to know you as a person, as a business owner, as somebody who wants to grow your company to a certain level. You want to give them the time to do that.
Yeah. And so when you're talking about follow-up, right now, you should be thinking about, as you're listening to this podcast, you should be thinking about what is the information that I want people to have, and write the email before you even come to the conference, so that you have it in your drafts, and so you can just send it to them, right?
Right. That's something that Vivian does. She's great she's really, really great at the follow-up, and that's because the email is written in advance. It was so great to meet you. We met at this location. I would love to schedule a time to chat with you. Does this day or this day work better? Like, just having a template that you can adjust on the fly is a good idea. And before you leave the conference, I would recommend doing it before they leave the conference.
Yes.
Before you leave the conference, on your phone, take out the device and then type in the email address and just hit send.
Yes, hit send. Make sure that you have some communication with them. And when I say communicate with them in the next 3 weeks, I don't mean wait from today until literally 3 weeks. I mean, between that day, February 17th, and 3 weeks from then, like the first week of March, you should have had a follow-up meeting with this person. And that follow-up meeting can be a phone call. You can go out to dinner. We purposely make the conference end about 4 o'clock each day. And that is to your credit. That's not for us. Right. That's so that these people who have flown into Miami, who are physically in one area, so that you can ask them to dinner, come on.
Right.
Offer them to go to drinks, show them around the city, do what you need to do, honey. Build that relationship.
Yeah, because it's really all about relationship building. And I think that you'll recognize that. So you want to show them who you are. You want to show them some sort of hospitality, whether that's a cup of coffee or what have you. We're not saying you have to do that.
Yeah, you definitely don't.
No, you don't have to do that. But it's a good gesture, because when you are sort of in bed with an investor, like it's a long-standing relationship. You know what I mean? Like it's a partnership that goes far beyond just, like somebody that's training you to lose 10 pounds. Like, it's usually a lot longer than that when they're investing in your company. When somebody chooses to put money into something that is not theirs, right now they're saying, I want this to grow as much as you do, because I have a horse in the race as well. Like, I want your company to grow, but which means that relationship is going to be a very important one for growth. So you want to get started on the right foot.
Yeah. And so, speaking of that alignment and having that person in your life for a while, when someone, and of course, go back and listen to the previous episodes so you can understand the nature of the funding that they're giving you. But for the sake of this conversation, if you're giving them some equity in your business, that is for the life of the business.
Yeah, usually.
That's for the life of the business.
Yeah.
So if you have a product-based business, or you have an office or something, and you want to show them your office, that's a great opportunity. If you're manufacturing, you want to show them the manufacturing plan. You want to introduce them to your team. It can be as casual as you like or as formal as you like, but look for opportunities to continue the relationship with this person as you're meeting them, because that person is not an island. None of us are. We say growth happens in collaboration for a reason. The investor that you're talking to in that moment, depending on who they are, especially for this year, they could be representing a group of investors, and then those other investors might be interested in your brand as well. And so it makes sense for you to make time to get to know all of them.
Right.
The next thing I really want you to think about is that when you are in this relationship with an investor, it is a lifelong relationship, the life of the business. And so when you are doing that, you're going to have different things that come up, right?
Yeah.
So you might get sick, families grow, great things are going to happen to you. You might move, purchase homes. Hopefully you're using that list of grant opportunities and bringing in additional funding in that way into the business. And as you are doing those things, your investor partner may or may not want to know about it.
Right. And so sometimes it's funny because we'll forget some of the things that are actually happening in your business. So keeping a good log of grants or appearances or publications that you've been featured in, like just keeping a log of that stuff is really important in the conversation with the investor, because they want to see that other people are also interested in a different way, but they're going to want to see that other people are interested in your business too.
Yeah. And so if you have any other questions about following along and staying connected with your investor, or being able to nurture that relationship with the investors that you meet, the other funders that you meet, vendors, partners, all of these people, we really are a tribe. We've been 8 years in getting to know different people. If you're active in our private Facebook group, you'll notice that Dr. Tracy and I both literally probably know every single person. Yeah. Right now, we're well over 1,200 members inside of our private Facebook group. And we know that we'll continue to grow, and we'll probably get to a point where maybe we don't know every single person. But right now we do. And so if there's opportunity for you to build that intense, deep relationship with your community, I highly recommend that you do.
Yeah, definitely. And the Flourish Media Conference is a great place to hone in on those skills, to get good at it. So we hope to see you there this year and next year and all the years.
Yes, indeed. So if you haven't done so, I think this is the first time I'm saying this, but you can buy tickets to the Flourish Media Conference down in the description there. We've linked everything there. And if you want to stay in contact with us so that you can attend our master classes as a part of our community, if you want to apply to get a grant from Behind the Leaf or any of our partners, and we make all of that up-to-date information available at Flourish Media Co. on all the things.
That's
been
it.
Great.
This has been good. Good season. We'll see you next time.
Yes. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Behind the Leaf. Never miss an episode, and subscribe to the official Flourish Media podcast on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. If this podcast sparked your curiosity or made you think of a fellow creative who could really use these gems, share it and help them flourish too.